So you pop a pill or you take a spray to try to get that relief back, but it's always short-lived. And all the while, in your efforts to give yourself relief, you may be making your nasal breathing problems worse. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula, and a simple in-office procedure from Advent called balloon sinuplasty could be the fast and convenient answer to your breathing triangle problems. Advent has been a leader in this procedure, which can be hard to find elsewhere. It's simple, there's little to no downtime, and it really can be life-changing.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers end up dropping 2-3 against the Royals. They lose today 6-4. Back in Milwaukee tomorrow. Road trip is over. They'll take on division rival, the St. Louis Cardinals. Our coverage of Game 1 of the series will start at 6:05 right here on WTMJ. And Bucks forward Thanasis Antetokounmpo has sustained a torn Achilles tendon. He's going to have to undergo surgery. That's according to Shams Charania on Twitter. Taking a look at your roads, your Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic, and we do have a couple incidents right now. We've got a crash on 894 southbound, just south of the, it's a little bit beyond the ramp from Greenfield Avenue, south of the Zoo interchange. That's blocking the right lane. Was blocking more, now has been contained just to the right lane, and those delays are stretching back to the Zoo interchange. On 894 eastbound near the Mitchell interchange, there's a disabled vehicle on the exit, and we're also seeing some slowdowns on the other side of that freeway, 894 westbound, as you come out of the Mitchell. 43 and 94 both slow right now. 94 eastbound from the Zoo to downtown is 2 minutes slow. It'll be an 8-minute ride. Westbound from the Zoo to Highway 16 will be about 4 minutes slow, and 43 southbound is going to be 4 minutes slow, a 15-minute ride.
Traffic is sponsored by the Heiser Automotive Group. For convenient car shopping and financing, visit Heiser Automotive Group at one of their 4 locations, Toyota, Chevy, Ford, Lincoln, and Cadillac. Or visit Heiser.com, because today's your day.
Time for the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Showers developing tonight, a low of 48. Showers are likely tomorrow. It's going to be cloudy, cool, and breezy with a high of just 55. Friday, mostly sunny, although we do have a chance for some showers in the afternoon. The high will be 60. Early showers on Saturday, then partly cloudy with a slight chance of showers and a high of 62. Sunday, mostly sunny. That slight chance of showers remains, a high of 67. And on Monday, partly cloudy. Once again, a slight chance of showers and a high of 70. Right now in Madison, it is 74. In Green Bay, it's 62. In Waukesha, it's 69. And in Milwaukee, it is 64 degrees. I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley. Sighting Unlimited, WTMJ News time is 6:07.
Your need-to-know cultural snapshot of Wisconsin and beyond. This is What's on Tap with Sandy Max. A deep dive into all things intriguing, riveting, and entertaining. Now, here's your host, Sandy Max.
Good evening. How you doing on this Wednesday night? And you're in luck. If you like What's on Tap, it's twice as long tonight. Double the fun. On the air till 8 o'clock, and with a fun show lined up with some special guests coming into the studio. We're going to have a visit from Milwaukee Film Programming Director Kirsten Larson, because movies on the big screen, they've got an Alfred Hitchcock series kicking off. And also, just in time for Mother's Day, celebrating moms all month long with a Cool Moms film series. And they've had some other news updates at Milwaukee Film. So we'll check in and visit with Kirsten Larson. Also, if you enjoyed Art in Bloom at the Milwaukee Art Museum, or you got sold out and couldn't enjoy it, there is another fantastic floral design-based exhibition going on this weekend at the historic Pabst Mansion. So museum director Jocelyn Slocum is going to join me in the studio as well. We're going to celebrate a Beatles milestone, catch up on the festivals that are happening in our city and even in West Bend. And also, you've been hearing about the groundbreaking that happened for Milwaukee Public Museum, which had to happen indoors yesterday because of the rainfall. It was ceremonial, so it was indoors. But there's a different groundbreaking for another arts organization in our city, and it's going to be glass-filled. Milwaukee Repertory Theater's artistic director, Mark Clements, is going to join me to share the good news about the growth at Milwaukee Repertory Theater and what to expect there. And also, if you love music and you love different kinds of music. Present Music is a wonderful organization in town that's got a national reputation, and they have an interesting performance tomorrow at the Milwaukee Art Museum called Honest Music, and you will meet composer Nadia Serrata. And also, have you heard about the ghost paintings in the Third Ward? Ooh, spooky. We will find out how you can get to know them even better with your smartphone. And also a Top Chef takeaway, because tonight Top Chef returns. We are halfway through the season, and if you want to catch up a little bit, got that Top Chef takeaway for you to cap off the show just before 8 o'clock, which is when it will air on Bravo tonight. And there is music news to share. I don't know if you heard this, but here is Greg Matzik, hot off the press, fans.
Hip-hop legend Snoop Dogg will be the initial headliner as part of Potawatomi's Amplified Concert Series. A range of seating will be available at the 4,800-patron venue, including picnic tables and VIP tents. Expect food and beer trucks as well. The concert venue is located in the former Cargill lot just west of the casino. July and August concert headliners will be released at a later date. Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
I'm so glad he included Snoop-a-Loop from Old School, because that's exactly what I thought of when I heard the Snoop coming to town. June 15th is the date to circle on your calendar to be one of the first people at the Potawatomi Amplified Concert Series in that Cargill lot just west of the casino. As Greg reported there, food trucks, all sorts of refreshments and fun. And this is going to be a summertime monthly performance, it seems, July and August. There are going to be concert headliners released at a later date, but Snoop Dogg to kick it off. He is way beyond rap. He is a pop culture icon and one of Martha Stewart's favorite friends. Snoop Dogg, Potawatomi Amplified Concert Series, June 15th. Tickets on sale Friday morning at 10. I am Sandy Max. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and we are going to go to the movies. Hitchcock, The Way It Was Meant to Be Seen, and more with Milwaukee Film's Kirsten Larson on WTMJ's What's on Tap next.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Hagenson, Saturday afternoon at 1. Creative Planning is a wealth management firm that believes in a total approach to building wealth that includes taxes, insurance, estate planning, and other personalized elements. This approach allows you to receive advice that is aligned with your unique goals and always in your best interests. Why not give your wealth a second look? Visit creativeplanning.com.
We find the best way to protect and uphold the reputation of our business is to hire good people and then take care of them. We really do love the people that work for us, and we care about what's in their best interest. And what that means to you is this: who do you really want on your job? Someone who's maybe underpaid or doesn't feel appreciated, might not have paid vacations or great work benefits? Our folks have all of these things and more. Vito and I make sure they feel appreciated, because happy people do happy work. There's a culture we're building here at Semper Fi that brings respect back to a very hard job. And that's why we know that our crews are going to do the kind of work that you expect. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
Here's to sweet summer days together with friends and family in Wisconsin. To discovering magic in every moment.
Hey, Mom, over here.
And to reconnecting through a world filled with wonder.
Wow.
Here's to supper club celebrations and dancing until the sun goes down. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Plan your summer getaway at travelwisconsin.com.
You're listening to What's on Tap with Sandy Max on WTMJ.
Welcome back to What's on Tap. I am Sandy Max. Glad you are with me and in the studio to talk Milwaukee Film and what they have in store on the big screen. Hello, Kirsten Larson, Programming Director.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am good. I am so glad that you are here. And that you love?
It's hard to pick. I think what I love the most is that even though I've been there for 7 years, I always notice new things. The house is just so full of detail literally from floor to ceiling, and it's just stunning all over. And as I was just telling you, we have a lot of original pieces that have returned to the house over the years since it opened in 1978, and we're getting new stuff from the family or finding it via other means. So even if you think you've seen the Pabst Mansion, there's always more that's coming in.
Wow, the collection just keeps growing.
Yeah, it's really interesting for a house museum so the family moved out in 1908. The Captain and Mrs. Pabst had deceased, and the children sold the home, and they sold it to the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Milwaukee, and they lived there for 67 years. So they were actually the longest tenants of the home, and then when the museum opened, there were only some of the original furnishings, and we didn't have all these original objects that we have today. So it's really, really incredible for a house museum that wasn't donated by the family directly to have these pieces come back. So I think that's just such a special thing in Milwaukee to have this family tie still and have it be as it was when the Pabst family lived there over 100 years ago.
And for you to continue to preserve this history, which is really a beautiful history of all kinds of architecture and art, and also being an event space. What is one of your next events coming up after the Ikebana event this weekend?
So we have a lot of fun tours this summer. Our popular behind-the-scenes tours are back as of this week. So that's for someone who, the regular tour just isn't enough. They want to see everything from the basement to the attic. So those tickets are available now. And then we have our
Who doesn't love to
tours.
snoop around somebody else's house? Much less when it's a really beautiful house.
Oh, yeah. You get to see things like the wine cellar or where all of our famous Christmas at the Pabst Mansion ornaments are stored.
I'm sure they're all labeled.
It's very organized. It wasn't always, but it's recently become organized, yes.
Behind-the-scenes tours, what else are you looking forward to?
We have our Sunday mimosa tours, which is always like the best way to start a Sunday, of course, with a mimosa and a tour of a beautiful home. And then we have our happy hour tours. Again, being in Milwaukee, we love our happy hour. So you do get a PBR as you tour the house.
Of course.
Of course.
You can't walk around without a Pabst.
Yes. And then we will also be hosting a Pabst family reunion, which is really fun to have the family come back to their ancestral home.
Really?
Yes.
Is this the first time a Pabst family reunion has happened?
It is the third time it will be happening.
How fun.
Yeah, so it won't be open to the public, but I do think it's very fun that the family is still so involved.
Yeah, the DNA and just swirling around in there and knowing it's one thing to walk through there and really feel the history and enjoy all the artwork and the intricacy and just feel the history, but to walk through there as a family member and really know that this is part of your own ancestry, that's got to be a profound experience.
Yes, it is really special for them, but it's also special for them to know that this is really Milwaukee's mansion, so it's special to all of us here and such a part of our history.
Well, Jocelyn, thank you very much for what you're doing to both preserve the history at the Pabst Mansion, but also bring it to life by bringing life into it, by having events and spotlighting it in such a unique way. So have a ton of fun at Floral Reflections, Ikebana at the Pabst Mansion this weekend. And I look forward to seeing you again. Again, what's the website to go to?
PabstMansion.com.
Easy. Thank you so much, Jocelyn.
Yeah, thank you.
And next, it's the song you need to hear as we celebrate a Beatles milestone. Next on What's on Tap.
Tony Drake here from Drake & Associates. Big news. Our Retirement Ready radio show is moving to a new time slot. Catch us at noon every Saturday. At Drake & Associates, we craft tailor-made plans that not only meet your financial needs, but align seamlessly with your unique lifestyle. Tune in at noon on Saturdays and get retirement ready.
Drake & Associates, LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates, LLC does not provide legal or tax advice.
Hey there, I'm Sandy Max and WTMJ. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me. That is how my friend Lola describes her decision to move into independent living at Three Pillars in beautiful Lake Country. They say life is just getting started at Three Pillars, and it's true. Nestled in a safe, serene setting on 300 nature-filled acres with activities and amenities galore. What more can you ask for in retirement? And what more could you want for your parents and loved ones? Get more info on the incredible opportunities to live at the top-rated senior living community in Wisconsin. Go to the website threepillars.org.
Matt had just moved into his first apartment and needed furniture to fill it, but he didn't have a big credit line. So I told him about St. Vincent de Paul. There's always a nice selection of gently used furniture there, and sometimes you can find some really cool retro pieces. And the best part is, it's always super affordable. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores for first-time furniture buyers or anyone looking for great deals on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Sleep apnea is a serious condition. And the worst part about it is, because it affects you while you're sleeping, you don't know what this condition is doing to you.
And it was scary because I found out that I was waking up 145 times an hour. 145 times. I was scared. I wasn't getting the sleep I needed.
And that's the thing. Someone like John wakes up after thinking he's slept all night, and he's been feeling run down for years, and finally finds out something really is wrong. This is why, for us, solving sleep apnea problems is so gratifying, because we really are changing lives.
I've had more energy. I'm getting better sleep. I've been told from my wife I don't snore, but honestly, it changed my life.
This is Dr. Madan Kandula. Solving your breathing triangle problems means a better quality of life, and you deserve that.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
All Brewers games are on sale now. Coming up, a divisional battle with the Cardinals Thursday, May 9th through Sunday the 12th. Make your Saturday night plans for Star Wars night. Then take home a Mother's Day Brewers belt bag giveaway at the game on Sunday the 12th. Presented
And now, feast your ears. This is the song you need to hear.
Most blokes are going to be playing at 10. These go to 11.
I'm Sandy Max, and Beatles fans, this is a bittersweet day. May 8th, 1970, the Beatles released their 12th and final album, Let It Be, about a month after they broke up. And even though all the controversy was surrounding the album, bandmates not getting along and breaking up, it was a best-selling album, topped the charts around the world, and this is the title track from their final album. It's the Beatles and Let It Be.
Did they binge watch their favorite shows by candlelight? Would they hand crank their computers to surf the web? Or burn kerosene to heat their hot tubs and curling irons? Just kidding. But hey, when Mother Nature knocks out the power, it does kind of feel like you've suddenly been transported back to the time of horse-drawn covered wagons. That is, unless you have a whole house Generac generator installed by Mr. Holland's Home Services. Our proficient power pioneers hardwire your new Generac generator directly into your home's electrical system. So when the grid takes an unexpected hit, your home won't be sent back into the dark ages. Call Mr. Holland's Home Services to schedule the installation of your new whole house backup Generac generator. 866-992-1717 or visit MrHollandsHomeservices.com. If lightning gives your home a blast from the past, we can help.
For WTMJ contest rules, visit WTMJ.com/contests. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 7 o'clock, it is 61 degrees. Showers developing tonight, a low of 48. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley. President Biden touting the planned Microsoft AI data center in Racine County on his 4th visit to Wisconsin this year.
It didn't take long into President Biden's speech at Gateway Technical College to take a dig at the Foxconn project former President Trump helped groundbreak in 2018 that never came to fruition.
Foxconn turned out to be just that.
The president promising this time a $3.3 billion AI data center will have a different outcome.
On my watch, we make promises and we keep promises.
At Gateway Technical College, Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
One unexpected comment from the president during his speech, training workers across the country to fix infrastructure, including in Wisconsin.
Last month, I announced 4 new hubs to continue to train workers for the jobs of the future. One of which is in Milwaukee, that trains workers to help replace every poisonous lead pipe in America in a decade and funded by the infrastructure law.
Biden planning to continue giving more access to jobs that don't require a 4-year college degree. Ascension, Wisconsin, saying some of its systems have been interrupted in a cybersecurity event. TMJ4's Mary Jo Ulla has more details on how this affected patients.
They said that they responded immediately, started an investigation, and put into place remediation efforts. Now, Ascension also says that their care teams are ensuring that any patient care delivery continues to be safe and minimally impacted as much as possible. But the health system at this point still working to figure out what information is affected by this situation. Now, I did reach out to other health systems in the area. They all tell me that they are not experiencing similar issues.
Ascension says it's working with authorities to see if any information was affected by this incident. Talks breaking down today between student protest leaders and administrators in UW-Madison. A statement released by the university saying campus leadership is disappointed in the students' decision to walk out of negotiations this morning. They say there continues to be a misunderstanding of how much influence the chancellor can have over UW-Madison's endowment, and they are hopeful, though, that they will be able to meet again tomorrow. In Milwaukee, UWM Chancellor Mark Money says the main conflict is that protest leaders say they won't leave their encampment until all demands are met, including ones he says are legally impossible for UWM to meet. A similar issue is being raised with the foundation's investments. The chancellor confirms the encampment isn't taken down voluntarily. The university will take action to remove it. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation Division of Motor Vehicles is now offering 2 new special license plates.
One creates awareness for suicide prevention, with proceeds going to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. The other, encouraging pet owners to spay, neuter, and adopt, with proceeds going to The Fix Is In. The new plates join a growing list of 53 special license plates in Wisconsin, which can be viewed and ordered online through the Wisconsin DMV website. Plates can be personalized. Fees include a $25 contribution to each respective organization. Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, and weather coming up next. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News. Time is 7:03.
You know, most mulch is reclaimed from landfills, but Erickson's mulch is ground from whole trees. Yep, we process the mulch ourselves to keep the prices nice and low, and use only premium colorant so the beautiful look of new mulch lasts. At Erickson's, we never skimp, and that's why first-time shoppers become repeat customers. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. How do we keep our prices so low? That's easy. We've removed the middlemen. Yep, most landscape suppliers have a couple of them in there, and that's okay. But each one of those men in the middle means a higher cost for your mulch, decorative stone, flagstone, and boulders. Feel free to check around. For the quality of our products, you won't find better prices. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
The surgeons that I know are good people. They just want to do what they can to help you feel better. And the surgeries they perform can do wonders for their patients. But medicine's a business, and surgery is the big ticket item. And there are surgeries that are absolutely necessary. In almost all cases, a total knee replacement isn't one of them. It's a last resort. So before you opt for a total knee replacement, if you haven't been to Rejuvenex, you may find that we have treatments that can give you the relief you're looking for. They're FDA approved, and they can alleviate pain, in many cases significantly. And insurance could cover a big portion of, if not all of our treatment costs. The osteoarthritic pain you're feeling will only worsen, and that's why you should take action now. This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Clinics, where we can alleviate your pain and rejuvenate your life.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers dropped 2 of 3 against the Royals. They lose today 6-4 in Kansas City. They're back in Milwaukee tomorrow. The road trip is over, and it's time for a series with division rival St. Louis. Our coverage of Game 1 of Brewers-Cardinals starts at 6:05 right here on WTMJ. And Milwaukee Bucks forward Thanasis Antetokounmpo has sustained a torn Achilles tendon and will undergo surgery. That's according to Shams Charania on X, formerly known as Twitter. Taking a look at your roads, your Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic, and it looks like we're seeing everything calm down. No major slowdowns or delays, no accidents to be reported. Things have sorted themselves out, and everything is looking good.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Tayback Law fights for those who fought for us. If you're a vet and have been wrongfully denied the VA benefits you're entitled to, call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Time for the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Showers developing tonight, a low of 48. Showers likely on Thursday. It's going to be cloudy, cool, and breezy with a high of 55. Mostly sunny on Friday, although we will have a chance of some showers again in the afternoon, a high of 60. Early showers, then partly cloudy on Saturday, a high of 62. Mostly sunny on Sunday, but we do still have that slight chance of showers, a high of 67. And on Monday, partly cloudy, again a slight chance of showers, and a high up to 70. Right now in Madison, it is 73. In Green Bay, it's 59. In Waukesha, it's 66. And in Milwaukee, it is 61 degrees. I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley. Sighting Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 7:07.
Your need-to-know cultural snapshot of Wisconsin and beyond. This is What's on Tap with Sandy Max. A deep dive into all things intriguing, riveting, and entertaining. Now, here's your host, Sandy Max.
Hey there, how you doing for hour 2 of tonight's episode of What's on Tap? Very glad to have you join me. We are going to be talking about some creative things coming up, including tomorrow night's Present Music presentation of a performance called Honest Music at the Milwaukee Art Museum with composer Nadia Serrata. We're also going to talk about the ghost signs that you can see enhanced and augmented in the Third Ward thanks to an app, and also your Top Chef takeaway, because tonight is another episode of Top Chef Wisconsin. Halfway through the season, we'll catch up a little bit and get you prepared for tonight's episode on Bravo. But right now, does it make my heart happy when I find out that the arts are getting even bigger and better and evolving in our city and in our state? Heck yeah. So I am thrilled to welcome to the WTMJ studio Milwaukee Repertory Theater's artistic director, Mark Clements. Welcome.
Hi, lovely to be here.
I'm glad you're here, and you're getting ready with your golden shovel for Saturday?
Yeah, we are. We break ground on Saturday before the big Curtain Call Bowl annual gala, our biggest fundraiser, and so two big events happening in the same night.
So how long has the expansion for the Milwaukee Repertory Theater been talked about, been planned by architects?
Well, it's happened phenomenally quickly. So, around about 2019, the board got together and we decided we needed to expand. There were just things about our building that were problematic. It's been a wonderful facility for us. Obviously, turned from an old disused power station to what it is today.
Which I don't know a lot of people realize that. You know? You talk about the powerhouse, the Quadracci powerhouse. Oh, excuse me. Yeah.
And then it became the Quadracci powerhouse once it became a theater. And it was bought for $1 from the city because it was just sitting there. And they turned it into this magnificent building that we've inhabited since 1986. But, there's so many things that just were, kind of wearing down, like elevators that were built and no longer the companies are in existence. So you can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on just having an elevator fixed or coming up to code, all the boring stuff that you never see on a stage, but affect our operations. So it was felt that, it was time to come into the new age. Obviously, the ballet had built a new building with MSO. We've got FISA Forum. And Milwaukee Rep is, we have 300,000 odd people coming through there a year. So it's a big cultural center point in the city. And we just felt that we wanted to make sure that the usability from the protagonist point of view, from the artists, from the directors, we want the best people in the world to come. So if you're hiring world-class people, you need a world-class facility. And then also just from the audience's point of view, I'm sure most of the women who've been to our theater will be very happy to hear that we've got plenty more bathrooms. So when we have that 20-minute intermission.
That was a huge selling point when the Oriental Theater did their renovation.
Yeah. Well, it's a big deal.
It's a comfort, yeah.
And I think one of the great things about it for me, in addition to all the exciting artistic stuff, is that we have many people who have been coming for 50 years and plus. And as people get older, they find that their desire to come to the theater is only made less by their physical ability to do that, where seats are not able to be put in place, wheelchairs become a big deal. You get the worst place in the house, you have to rip out a seat to put one in. And, it's very unsatisfactory getting in and out for people with disability. And I believe that this new facility will extend the use of people's theater life by maybe a decade, which is really extraordinary. And I think, that's going to be a major thing for a lot of people who thought their theater days were over, not out of choice, but out of necessity, and now can come for a lot longer.
To have them feel welcome and enabled.
Yeah.
What are some of the other things that are going to make people feel welcome in this new space that you're excited about?
Yeah, I think the bars and the public spaces will be great. From an actor's and the technician's point of view, and directors, I think we will have an extraordinary main stage which will be able to go, which is really one of only I think we've got the only one in the country that I can think of that will be like this, will be the thrust stage like we have now, where the VOMs, the vomitariums, where actors are coming through the audience, if you like.
Yes.
And then also like a conventional proscenium arch. So we'll be able to be very dexterous and nimble as to how we and change the shape and the feeling of the theater. We may even be able to have people on stage and sort of do it in an arena kind of facility. So we're looking into that too.
Is that a response to your own creative desires as artistic director? Is it also a response to productions that come in and want that sort of nimbleness for a theater?
Well, we will. The other thing is we'll be able to fly and bring things up through the floor. You know, bringing in big pieces of scenery from overhead, like you might see at the Marcus Center. So we'll be able to do things that we have not been able to do before. So I think that is a response to me as the artistic director and the people I immediately work with. For example, the seats will be more comfortable. They'll all be in sight lines. Sometimes if it's a very popular show, the only seats that are available are on the mezzanine on the sides. And really, you know, quite frankly, they're terrible seats. Whereas when we go to these two configurations, depending on the show, we will be able to, everybody will be able to see everything all the time, which is, you know, obviously some people will be closer than others, and that will be a choice and a price point preference as well.
But no obstructed view like that.
But no restricted view. So I think that's great. And that opens up a lot of possibilities for us as theater makers. It is also attractive to people who have been interested in, you know, Milwaukee Rep is one of the most successful regional theaters in the country. It's the biggest producing theater in the state. And a lot of people come to us, commercial producers, because they're interested in seeing what we do, but they can't take something onto Broadway or on a tour or whatever because our space is very specific. And this will now allow us different opportunities for commercial producers to come in. So if you know, most of the shows that you see on Broadway and around there, these are shows that are coming out of regional theaters in Seattle or Los Angeles or Chicago, and now Atlanta will now be able to be a major competitor. We'll have competitive advantage with those theaters. And we also build extremely well. We've got incredible artisans who build extremely well, so we have that as an asset that we're keeping too. So I think, you know, there's a lot more opportunity for the theater to be even stronger and better than it is now. And I think that's always the hope for people like myself who have these jobs. You're custodians of these theaters. You bring whatever talent or you have to the table and try and make sure it's stronger than when you picked it up, and then make it very desirable for the next person to come in and take it on for another generation.
Wow. I would say I love the idea of the whole evolution, but that is really exciting to learn that by making that staging in itself nimble allows more Milwaukee artists and more Milwaukee creators to get beyond. Yeah,
one of the things that, you know, we wanted to do is there's obviously immediate needs, but you've got to try and think of this as a 50-year journey. So this will probably outlive most of us, you know, who are coming attending that now, and that will, so in 30 years' time or 40 years' time, you want people to be going, what a great thing these guys built for us and what a great theater it is. It might need some changes in the next 10 or 20 years, but that's how it works. So you try and make sure that not only is it a facility that serves you well now, but is something that you and others can grow into and discover and have more and infinite opportunities and, you know, to for staging and evolve with different art forms as the theater evolves and changes, as it does all the time.
And audience desires and needs change as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I love the long-term vision, and we are going to talk more about long-term and short-term plans for the Milwaukee Repertory Theater with Artistic Director Mark Clements next on What's on Tap.
It's like playing baseball in the house.
Mom, Dad broke the window.
Without the risk of...
Again.
That. Every Thursday at 8:40, play virtual baseball on Wisconsin's Morning News. Step up to the virtual plate and test your mettle against the best.
Swing and a drive.
It's virtual baseball, presented by Signing Unlimited. Only played here on WTMJ.
Quality heating.
Heat pumps have been the norm down south, but they're new up here. And I'm a big advocate for them. They're far more efficient than conventional AC systems and serve as a backup to your furnace too. They don't use gas and they're really efficient. And that's why the government basically pays for a big portion of these babies with rebates. So before you install a conventional AC system, ask the man in the red van about an Armstrong air heat pump.
You gotta see the man in the red van. Quality heating, quality heating.
Manufacturers can void a warranty if annual maintenance can't be proven. Having a preventive maintenance agreement on your HVAC system keeps your warranty in check, helps avoid nuisance calls and your system failing at inopportune times. You get 15% off parts and labor on repairs, no trip charges, discounted pricing for replacements, and priority service. This is Anthony Zanevsky with Quality Heating. See the man in the red van about a preventive maintenance agreement starting at only $25.50 per month.
Quality heating, quality heating.
Another MVP has joined the roster at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, Dr. Michael Nolte. Expertscape recently named him part of the top 1% of spine expertise in the world. Dr. Nolte has published over 50 peer-reviewed articles in leading scientific journals and authored more than 100 national presentations. They added this MVP specialist for orthopedic, neurosurgical, and spine care because at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference.
You're listening to What's on Tap with Sandy Max on WTMJ.
Been talking with Milwaukee Repertory Theater Artistic Director Mark Clemens in the WTMJ studio about Saturday's groundbreaking as the Milwaukee Repertory Theater will evolve and look like an atrium almost with its glass space with the rendering. But you were just sharing really how important the nuts and bolts and the maintenance of the usability of the building as a theater building, but also as a place to be a hospitable guest and have patrons be comfortable and have seating and also be able to see what's happening on stages. That all those evolutions are important, and also how important having a nimble stage is going to be for helping our productions go beyond Milwaukee into Broadway. So it's fascinating to hear the vision and the many committee meetings I'm sure have been had in just how to evolve for the, like you were saying, for the next generation, for the the legacy.
So. Yeah, I think, a lot of theaters that many of us have worked in have not ended up being very user-friendly, like obvious things, doors being put in the way, and because they were made by architects who'd never made theaters before or had been involved in that. But I think the people that we got involved, both EUA, which is a local company, and Fisher Dax, their theater consultants, were great. And we've also brought in a lot of people who've worked for us, lighting designers, sound designers, scenic designers, costume designers, and asked them, what was good about this place? What did you miss? If what would you recommend? So we took counsel from a lot of people because I think you don't want to miss anything. I mean, that's the one thing is that, it's a wonderful opportunity and it's also a hell of a responsibility because you just go, I hope people are not going to be cursing my name in 30 years' time,
Because they keep hitting their knee on something or their elbow on a wall.
What on earth was he thinking? Yeah. So I'm trying to remember those experiences that I've had and others have had and avoid those if we can. But the proof of the pudding will be in the eating, and that will be in October of 2025. So we're going to find out pretty fast.
I would say that's a year and a half away. That's coming up pretty quickly.
It is.
And Saturday's groundbreaking will be exciting. Do you have your own golden shovel?
Apparently we do.
Well done, you.
I know. That will have to go up on a wall somewhere and probably in a garage, but we'll see.
That would be fine.
Yeah, or my office. Yeah.
How fun. Well, one of the things that I have enjoyed about going to the Rep for decades now, isn't it? How long have you been the artistic director there?
Not decades.
Not decades. Okay.
I've been there my first season was 2010. So with the pandemic year that we all missed, I think, this is year 13 or 14. Yeah.
Well, okay, so I moved back from Chicago in 2013. So you have been my artistic director that I have been watching and been working with you.
Ragtime year. That's how I put them down. I put them in the musical year. Yeah.
That is, so that's how you tell the time. So what are some of the other years that you tell the time by theater?
Well, 2010 was Cabaret, and that was my first ever show, and that was the first musical on the Powerhouse stage. So I know that's the start of my tenure. And then,
so you came in and made an impact.
I've directed all the musicals, every one each year, with the exception of In the Heights. So I've done, I guess, 12 or 13 with Rum Bambi Rum, which was the last one.
Which was like a concert.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was energetic.
Yeah.
Great voices.
I know. All actor musicians that played every note of that as well as acted and sang it. Yeah.
And when you talk about musicals, but that's also a new musical.
Yeah, so that was the first musical we ever commissioned. So it combined two interests of mine. One was new works, new plays, and musicals. And that was, creating a brand new musical is a lot of pressure. It requires a lot of money and investment and belief from a lot of people, time. And so the pressure's really, really on. In fact, I've just come back from California where we're co-producing a new musical called Prelude to a Kiss, which is based on that movie that Alec Baldwin did in the 80s.
I was going to ask you, is the Prelude, it wasn't Meg Ryan in that too?
Yeah, Meg Ryan and Alec Baldwin, yeah. And I think maybe that was the movie that moved Meg Ryan into being a star.
Before she met Tom Hanks and really.
Yeah. So we've been turning that into a musical, and it's hard. You have to do a lot of work to find out whether a single entity of that journey works, because until you put it in front of an audience, you don't fully know. You do give it your best guesses. You workshop, you bring in people to see little bits of it and get a feeling, and readings. But until it's in front of a live audience running at real full-time speed, you never really know what you've got.
Is that the danger and thrill of being a director?
I have described putting on a new musical as the sort of theatrical equivalent of base jumping. That's you just don't know whether it's a really good idea until that parachute deploys. That's how I think about new musicals.
Leaps of faith.
Yeah, basically. But without that, I think if you just want to play everything safe, the audiences get bored. Nobody wants to work for you. If you're doing that, you shouldn't probably be doing it at that point. So I always want to push myself, and I feel obliged to. I feel like we all know what we like to eat, but if there's a great restaurant that we like and there's a chef we like, if they're coming up with a new dish and we've been there enough and we like what they do, then we're prepared to sample it. And we might not always love it and like it, but I think that's what the chef is trying to do in their restaurant. They're trying to broaden people's, gastronomic horizons, and I'm just trying to do that with theater. I mean, Arthur Miller once said that somebody asked him what did he want his plays to achieve, and he said, I just want to broaden people's scope and horizons with my work, and hope they go on that journey. And I always felt that was a really noble aspiration.
What's your next exciting challenge that you're really looking forward to?
Apart from building a new theater, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Well, I meant on stage, yeah.
I'm really excited about doing this relatively new play called The Coast Starlight, which will be the first play I direct in the season, because I'm not directing the musical Prelude to a Kiss. It's coming from California with another director, my counterpart, David Ivers at South Coast Rep. But this play, The Coast Starlight by Keith Burnham, is a play that I saw in New York and fell in love with. And it's about the train that goes, I think, once a day or once every 2 days from Los Angeles right up to Seattle. And it hugs the coastline up there on the west side of the country. And it imagines 6 people on this train journey. And often, you know how it is when we're sat on a plane or a train with a stranger for hours on end. We look at that person and we sort of automatically profile them. And this play supposes all the things that we might say to them, or if we were not shrouded human beings and feel it would be inappropriate to do that. So it's a really terrific play and sort of linguistic fireworks and really beautiful and funny and moving. So that's my next challenge.
I'm very excited to see this and see how you do back in the non-musical world.
Indeed, yeah.
Milwaukee Repertory Theater Artistic Director Mark Clements, we wish you all good things for a very fun Saturday at the gala, but also at the groundbreaking. And I look forward to checking in with you again for the updates on,
Thank you so much.
On the expansion.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Everyone's welcome.
You're listening to What's on Tap. News is next on WTMJ.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
One of the best things about being in business for 25 years is having clients recommend AccuNet to their now adult children for help buying their first homes. That's how I connected with Dan and Allison, and let me tell you, they were fast learners. They quickly embraced our most powerful tool for winning offers, Appraisal Wiggle Room. Their first offer was $15,000 over asking and included a provision which AccuNet guaranteed they could afford to make, that they would still pay the higher offer price even if the appraised value came in up to $15,000 short. The result? Accepted offer versus several others on the very first try. And by the way, if the appraisal had come in $15,000 short, which it did not, Dan and Allison would have needed exactly $0 extra at the closing table. If you think all mortgage lenders are the same, think again. Go with a multi-generation mortgage lender that has the tools and know-how to help you win. Click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
Each day, there's a sliver of time when you can almost breathe freely. And you feel better when you can. But you know that eventually that sliver of time closes, along with your nose. It puts a damper on your day every day. So you pop a pill or you take a spray to try to get that relief back. But it's always short-lived. And all the while, in your efforts to give yourself relief, you may be making your nasal breathing problems worse. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula, and a simple in-office procedure from Advent called balloon sinuplasty could be the fast and convenient answer to your breathing triangle problems. Advent has been a leader in this procedure, which can be hard to find elsewhere. It's simple, there's little to no downtime, and it really can be life-changing.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary.
This is What's on Tap with Sandy Max.
I'm Sandy Max. Thank you very much for hanging out with us on this extended version of What's on Tap. More from present music, Third Ward ghost signs, and your Top Chef takeaway to get you up to speed. But first, we're going to check in the WTMJ Breaking News Center with Wyatt Barmore-Pooley.
Thanks, Sandy. And I've actually got an update on a story we've been following this afternoon. The Kenosha County Sheriff's Department confirming they responded to a wooded area near University Drive at UW Parkside for a dead body found in the Pike River. It was called in by somebody walking along the trails in the woods that saw the body in the river. They secured the area and determined that the male died from an apparent suicide. They did also confirm that rumors of a headless body quickly spread through social media, but it is incorrect. The person who died was not found with any missing extremities. Talks breaking down today between student protest leaders and administrators at UW-Madison. A statement released by the university saying campus leadership is disappointed in the students' decision to walk out of negotiations this morning, but they're optimistic that they are still open to meet tomorrow, so we will see what happens with talks on Thursday. In Milwaukee, UWM Chancellor Mark Monet says that if the encampment isn't taken down voluntarily, the university is going to have to take action. Monet not providing a date that will happen, though. Now it's time to take a look at your roads. It is your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic, and just like last time, everything is looking good. No major slowdowns or delays, no accidents. Everything looks like it's a smooth ride. Not a ton of people on the roads, but it should be an easy ride tonight on the highways. Time for the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Showers developing tonight, a low of 48. Showers likely tomorrow. It's going to be cloudy, cool, and breezy with a high of 55. Mostly sunny on Friday, a chance of afternoon showers and a high of 60. Early showers on Saturday, and then partly cloudy skies, a high of 62. Mostly sunny on Sunday, a high of 67. Partly cloudy, I should say, on Monday with a high of 70. Both of those days will have a slight chance of showers. Right now in downtown Milwaukee, it is 61 degrees. I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley. Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 7:32.
We did the math. When you buy bagged mulch from the big guys, you pay $50 a yard. Why pay more for inferior mulch? When you buy from Erickson's, you'll get premium mulch for almost half the cost. And you'll see that even our economy mulch is better for less than half the cost of bag mulch. And either choice is made with premium colorant that lasts longer. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Do you want the economy mulch or the premium? The only real difference is that the premium mulch has thicker strands, while the economy mulch is finer. But the colorant we use for both is of the highest quality, and that's why the color of our mulch lasts longer. And our mulch comes from trees, not pallets, and we process it all in-house. That's why our prices are so low. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
One of the best things about being in business for 25 years is having clients recommend Accunet to their now adult children for help buying their first homes. That's how I connected with Dan and Allison, and let me tell you, they were fast learners. They quickly embraced our most powerful tool for winning offers, Appraisal Wiggle Room. Their first offer was $15,000 over asking and included a provision which Accunet guaranteed they could afford to make, that they would still pay the higher offer price even if the appraised value came in up to $15,000 short. The result? Accepted offer versus several others on the very first try. And by the way, if the appraisal had come in $15,000 short, which it did not, Dan and Allison would have needed exactly $0 extra at the closing table. If you think all mortgage lenders are the same, think again. Go with a multi-generation mortgage lender that has the tools and know-how to help you win. Click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
Hey, remember it's Mother's Day weekend. Your mom should not cook. You can't let that happen. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Treat your mother and grandmother to a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free, even on Mother's Day weekend. Enjoy a great steak, seafood, ribs, pasta. Mom might like the big fresh salad, even steak and lobster, prime rib on Saturday, and your second dinner is always free. Desserts and the huge ice cream drinks included in the buy one, get one free. Your mom can relax with a hand-muddled old-fashioned Manhattan. How about a great wine from their new wine list? 8 elegant dining rooms, the Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the famous Holy Hill Shrine in the heart of the Kendall Moraine Forest. The setting is magical. Take your mother for a free dinner tonight and this weekend. I highly recommend the Friday Fish Fry. It's all you care to eat and one of the best things going. Visit foxandhoundsrestaurant.com to reserve. Happy Mother's Day from the Fox and Hounds.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
Why is abbreviation such a long word? You'd think someone could make it shorter.
You mean like instead of saying buy one, get one, you can just say BOGO.
Yeah, kinda.
Through Monday at Hasselus Mattress, buy a new Sealy Posturepedic, Serta Perfect Sleeper, or Beauty Rest mattress, and we'll give you a free box spring or an equal amount off an adjustable base.
Or, in other words,
BOGO.
You're a man of few words. I like that.
Find a self-service showroom near you or shop online at Hasselus.com.
From big tailgate parties to cozy dinners for two, the freshest ideas start with a stop at Century Foods. Now through Wednesday, save on 8.8 to 12-ounce selected varieties Kellogg's Kids cereal, 2 for $6. 6 to 24-ounce selected varieties Frito-Lay party-sized chips or dips, 2 for $9. 12-pack cans selected varieties Super Chill Soda, $4.49. 64-ounce selected varieties Old Orchard Juice, 2 for $5.
Hey, why'd you throw my glass across the room?
I have to keep practicing.
The vase from Aunt Sophie?
I'm warming up in case I get to take them out at American Family Field. Read this.
Win the ultimate baseball fan experience at Century Foods?
You either get to throw out the first pitch, hold the finish line for the famous racing sausages, or be on the field during batting practice. My new TV!
Just doing a little batting practice of my own.
The ultimate baseball fan experience. Return the entry form found in the weekly ad to any Century by July 24th.
What's on Tap with Sandy Max is back on WTMJ.
I am Sandy Max, and on Sunday, a beautiful sunny afternoon, I was at the Present Music season reveal. Come with me now to the terrace at the Villa Terrace Decorative Arts Museum and meet a musical visitor.
Hello, my name is Nadia Sirota. I am a violist and conductor and curator and educator, and I am here to be involved with present music, and I've curated a concert for Thursday evening.
At the Milwaukee Art Museum. So how did your relationship with present music come about?
You know, present music has a pretty outsized reputation, given that it's kind of a small series in Milwaukee, but I had heard so many lovely things about it over the years in New York City, where I live, and so many of my friends and colleagues have come to Milwaukee and played on the series, so I was aware of it, and then Eric got in touch with me about curating and conducting a concert, and the rest is history.
That is very exciting to hear that present music's reputation is nationwide for contemporary composers and really, I won't say experimental, but more non-traditional music. And what is going to be the focus of your Honest Music performance on Thursday night?
Well, so the funny thing about contemporary classical music is that classical music is a weird term, right? It technically means stuff after the Baroque era in the classical period. And it's also still the best word we have for instrumental music that is designed to be performed in concert halls. So the interesting thing about series like Present Music is they're taking this classical tradition and they are putting a contemporary lens on it. And I think the curation of present music has been outstanding, and that some of the most exciting composers and performers from around the country have found their way to Milwaukee to perform. My program, Honest Music, is named after a piece by Nico Muhly. Nico and I are long-time artistic friends and partners. We met as undergraduates. And so I kind of took the title of one of his pieces as a way to remind myself to think about that moment where I really started finding my artistic voice. In classical music, we're often kind of told what pieces of music are, written by geniuses. What are the pillars of the repertoire? And it's not about, do you like this piece? It's about, here's why you should like this piece. So one of the most liberating things that I ever did was starting to work with all these contemporary classical composers and realizing that my perspective on it was the perspective. I could just gravitate towards things that I liked. I could be impressed by things that impressed me. It didn't have to be sort of knowledge that somebody else gave me. So in starting to work with composers and in new music, I really found my artistic voice, and I really found the music that I was drawn to, that I was gravitated towards. So Honest Music, means it's a reference to this title, but it's also a reference to all of these composers and pieces that I am personally moved by. I think it's so important that we share what we love with each other, because that's how you create excitement, that's how you create new fans.
Do you say break a string to a musician for Thursday night?
You can break a string, you can break a bow, you can break a leg.
Cheers. Thank you, Nadia.
Thank you so much.
You can see Nadia and many, many strings performing tomorrow night at the Milwaukee Art Museum. Showtime is at 8 o'clock, and I just love her enthusiasm, and I love that present music has a national reputation. That's tomorrow night at Milwaukee Art Museum, presentmusic.org if you want to find out more and get tickets. And next, ghostly images in Third Ward. Find out more next on What's on Tap.
New residential, commercial, or multifamily construction? Call Quality Heating before you begin. Starting a new remodel? Pre-planning any new construction with a qualified HVAC design engineer assures your comfort will be at its maximum. Because the last thing you want your new project to be is uncomfortable. This is Anthony Zanevsky with Quality Heating. From Sheboygan to Illinois, to Madison and all of greater southeastern Wisconsin, the man in the red van can give you a master plan.
Quality heating, quality heating.
Her bedroom in back was always warm, while the one in front was as cold as an igloo. She asked me what she should do, and I told her, Mary, zoning will solve your issue. At Quality Heating, the man in the red van knows how to even out your home's temperature and take care of humidity or lack thereof. Heck, you spend most of your life there. Why not maximize its comfort? This is Anthony Zanevsky. Ask the man in the red van about zoned heating and cooling ideas for your home.
You gotta see the man in the red van. Quality heating, quality heating.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. It was time to paint the outside of our house, and I was overwhelmed. I really wasn't looking forward to it. Thank goodness I got in touch with CertaPro Painters, each business independently owned and operated right here in Wisconsin. They made it easy. They were quick. They were efficient. They were friendly and fun. It's CertaPro Painters. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. My home has never looked better, literally. I couldn't be happier. It's CertaPro Painters. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Clinics, and I want to talk about exactly what we do. When you come here, you're going to get 2 shots with 2 very small needles. One will be a medication called Toradol, which is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory, completely different from a standard steroid or cortisone injection. This medication is safe and a great pain reliever. The other will be hyaluronic acid, which is a naturally occurring fluid found in all of our joints. What hyaluronic acid does is it helps recoat the inside surfaces to provide cushioning and lubrication. It helps slow down the osteoarthritis process to a point where patients may not need surgery. All of this combined with using our state-of-the-art Ultra G machine developed by NASA has produced profound results. What we do works. And the best part about this is that insurance covers most of our patients' treatments. Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Inflation, market volatility, global unrest, a presidential election. You're not alone if you're feeling stressed about your investment and retirement planning. Take control with help from Annex Wealth Management. We'll build a plan that works for you, your family, and your investment and retirement goals. Annex offers financial planning at every level. Just starting out, there's Annex Ignite. If retirement is on the horizon, Annex Comprehensive Wealth is a great fit. If you've got high net worth and complex planning challenges, consider Annex Private Client. Know the difference with a fee-only fiduciary. AnnexWealth.com.
Welcome back to What's on Tap on WTMJ.
When you see old, faded paintings on the sides of downtown buildings, they look like they've seen better days. They also look like they have stories to tell. Here's WTMJ's Jessica Ty.
Look closely at some of the buildings in Milwaukee's 3rd Ward, and you'll see signs of the past. Hand-painted billboards, now mostly faded.
There are 9 buildings, all of them that have had the honor of having a ghost sign painted on them at some point in time.
Mike Rowe of Hoffman York is the mastermind behind a new project that not only brings these billboards back to life, but preserves them as well.
A lot of the buildings are protected, which means you can't touch them. So those signs are going to fade into nothingness.
Thanks to the Augmented History Tour, you can see them again in their original glory.
Take your phone or tablet, wave it in front of the building, and boom, there it is. You'll see the sign as new as when it was freshly painted over 100 years ago.
Jessica Ty, WTMJ News.
WTMJ's Jeff Sherman on his show The Upswing dove deeper into this new app with Historic 3rd Ward Association Director Jim Plaisted.
As we go through this new Augmented History reality tour that takes you on a journey to the past to explore the historic ghost signs found in and around the 3rd Ward. So Jim Plaisted, the 3rd Ward was kind of a manufacturing and industrial center in the 1900s, and a lot of the companies on the side of their businesses kind of leveraged those to create amazing ways to showcase their products and their partners. But a lot of them are kind of not in decay, but you can't really see them well. So what has your organization done to bring these back to life?
So a couple of things. So we have an architectural review board and guidelines that were adopted by the city of Milwaukee in 2005. And those ghost signs, these historic signs that are fading in various degrees of fading on brick facades in the 3rd Ward, are actually protected. You can't bring them back, and you can't sandblast them off. So it's part of the history and the culture of the 3rd Ward. So what happened earlier this year is a creative director at Hoffman York, Mike Rowe, literally came into our office and said, I want to show you guys something. And so myself and Jordan Deschambre and Celeste Brunner sat down with Mike, and Mike unveiled this augmented reality tour of the ghost signs in the 3rd Ward. So his staff researched what these signs look like. They went to the Historical Society. They got original artwork out of photographs. In some instances, recreated the colors. And so what this is it's a website. It's augmentedhistory.org. You can go to it right now. We're doing a more formal launch this Thursday at the Third Ward Beer Garden. But basically, the website explains it very well, especially for radio listeners. But basically what it is based on where you're standing in proximity to a ghost sign, pre-programmed ghost signs will show up on your phone.
Okay.
It's not quite that simple.
Right.
But again, the website will walk you through it. And it's stunning. There's a little historical augmented reality, a historical marker that they placed in there to tell you about that business. Some really prominent walls. I think there's about 9 or 10.
Okay.
Around the ward that you can see once you get down on the street with your phone.
So all the signs are protected by the historic registry. They can't be painted over the buildings if they were going to be redeveloped. What that have to go through the architectural review board process, so the buildings couldn't be taken down without preserving the signs in some way, shape, or form.
Right. Well, the buildings can't be taken down. Period.
Okay.
In the historic district.
Okay.
Right.
So you take the tour, you point your phone, and all the research that you and your group have done kind of brings the signs back to life on your phone. I mean, that's the heart of it.
Yeah, and you can even do a selfie with the sign in the background. All right. It takes some machinations, but you can get it done. It's really cool. I highly encourage everybody to try it when they're down in the Third Ward. And we're working through some little ticks in it, but it's a really great gift that Hoffman York has. They're literally handing it off to the Association to promote and manage. So
and there isn't a charge. It's free to use.
Free.
Just use your phone, go to the website. Some of the bigger names that you'll see on the sides of buildings, there's a big Quaker Oats sign. I think there's a Coca-Cola.
Yep.
Blatz.
There's a Blatz on the side of Onesto.
Discover for yourself the ghost signs in the Third Ward. That website, augmentedhistory.org. And that was WTMJ's Jeff Sherman on his show, The Upswing. You can hear daily at 10 a.m. here on WTMJ. Jeff Sherman talking with Historic Third Ward Association Director Jim Plaisted. You can also catch up on The Upswing on our podcast page at WTMJ.com. Use your phone as a window to the past. I like it when history and technology merge. Next, Top Chef Wisconsin back tonight on Bravo in just a few minutes, 8 o'clock. Get caught up with my Top Chef takeaway next on What's on Tap.
Sleep apnea is a serious condition. And the worst part about it is, because it affects you while you're sleeping, you don't know what this condition is doing to you.
And it was scary because I found out that I was waking up 145 times an hour. 145 times. I was scared. I wasn't getting the sleep I needed.
And that's the thing. Someone like John wakes up after thinking he's slept all night, and he's been feeling run down for years, and finally finds out something really is wrong. This is why, for us, solving sleep apnea problems is so gratifying, because we really are changing lives.
I've had more energy. I'm getting better sleep. I've been told from my wife I don't snore. But honestly, it changed my life.
This is Dr. Mothan Kandula. Solving your breathing triangle problems means a better quality of life, and you deserve that.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
It's time for a Wisconsin Farmers Union Minute. Dairy farmers in Wisconsin and across the nation have experienced boom and bust price cycles for decades, triggered by an imbalance between supply and demand. When milk prices are high, farmers increase production to meet the demand. However, when prices are low, dairy farmers also increase production to help their bottom line, unintentionally flooding the market and driving prices down further. The wild price swings that result make it difficult to manage a business. But there is a better way. The Dairy Revitalization Plan is a growth management strategy that coordinates milk production growth among all dairy producers to stabilize and improve prices for everyone. Unlike quota, which is often viewed as overly restrictive, growth management offers a series of incentives and disincentives to better align milk production growth with demand growth. The Dairy Together coalition of farmers, farm groups, and dairy industry stakeholders is pushing this plan to be included in the upcoming Farm Bill. By implementing the Dairy Revitalization Plan, we can ensure that Wisconsin remains America's dairy land for generations to come. Learn more at dairytogether.com.
We should plan for the future, but planning is not the same as controlling. Dr. Michael Ziegler tells how life's uncontrollability can be seen in the lives of three men we meet in the Bible's book of Acts, Saul, Ananias, and Barnabas, who found themselves called in ways they never expected. Dr. Ziegler talks about listening for and responding to God's call this week on the Lutheran Hour.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
You're listening to What's on Tap with Sandy Max on WTMJ.
I am Sandy Max, and tonight Bravo serves up a fresh episode of Top Chef Wisconsin. Catch up on where we are halfway through this Top Chef season with a recap of last Wednesday's baseball and sausage themed episode and my Top Chef takeaway visit with WTMJ's Vince Vitrano and Eric Bilstad on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Bravo's Top Chef staged this season in Milwaukee and across our state. Wednesday night's episode featured baseball, the Brewers, and American Family Field.
Chefs, this week you'll be taking part in America's favorite pastime. Baseball. Yeah. But you won't be doing it alone. There he is.
Let's go, guys.
Please welcome Top Chef All-Star Amar Santana and the Milwaukee Brewers' famous racing sausages.
Hey, sausages. Following this series, right? Because even if you're not a fan of the show, it's widely popular and interesting to see how our city and state are presented to this national audience. On that, here we are. You've got these chefs lined up for this cooking show, and they trot out the sausages, which we know, but they're going to a national audience. And it was clear in the clip that maybe some of these chefs didn't really understand what they were looking at here either.
During the 6th inning of every home game, the bratwurst, Polish sausage, Italian sausage, hot dog, and chorizo, of course, lined up and raced around the field.
And it will be the inspiration for your next elimination challenge. You all are going to compete in our very own Top Chef sausage race.
Yes. Come on now. Top Chef sausage.
They're going to cook the sausages?
Right. Not those sausages. Various others. WTMJ's Sandy Max. She's been following every episode. In studio with us this morning with today's Top Chef takeaway. You went to the watch party last night here in town?
I did, with some of the stars of last night's episode. The racing sausages showed up to the Zocalo viewing party.
Oh, very nice.
Fantastic.
A mini race broke out in the food truck lot. It was really cool. I got a close-up of the chorizo. You can see that video on our social media for fun. But they really embrace it. So as much as it's a kitschy, funny thing for people around the country who aren't aware of this beloved tradition at our baseball games, they got in the spotlight a lot. They had a mini race during the event itself, and they got the Chariots of Fire treatment, and you watched the chef testants and the judges who looked really entertained. But the elimination challenge was completely sausage focused, and the reason they had the sausages run the race was in the order of their finish was going to be the order of the meal of preparation. So each of the teams, each chef had to either prepare a hot dog, a chorizo, in some fancy form. And Chef Dan Jacobs, our Milwaukee chef testant, got bratwurst and served a pretty much traditional German. Yeah, he felt very at home at American Family Field.
Right. For that,
right. Onions, butter, and let's go.
He did roll. Yeah, exactly. He did roll with the potato pancake and sauerkraut for his for that competition. But to see everybody, but there's a thrill. I mean, I'm a former in-game host, and there's a thrill to being in the ballpark, on the field, on the where you're not supposed to be, where only elite athletes get to be. And it was cool to see pretty much everybody be impressed by that location because they lined up the two chef tables on the diamond. That's where they dined. That's where they were stationed in the dugout at parts. So you really saw a lot of American Family Field. There was no Bernie sightings. I really wanted Bernie to serve up some beer or something, but we saw a lot of the sausages.
Sausage is not enough for you over there.
Well, you know.
You mentioned being impressed. Ryan Braun, former Milwaukee Brewer, talked with Eric, and Eric and I interviewed him the other day.
He was on. Yeah, he was one of the celebrity chefs,
judges. Right,
or celebrity judges.
He was super impressed with the whole process.
They came up with some great stuff. I was incredibly impressed with almost all of the dishes. I thought that it was very appropriate to do elevated ballpark foods. I was also incredibly impressed with all of the judges and their vernacular and describing tastes and smells and textures, and the way that they're able to articulate their experience with food was so unique.
I thought that was interesting, him saying just listen to them speak their language, which is different than how regular folks talk about cooking.
A self-proclaimed foodie.
And a former restaurant owner.
That's right.
But I will tell you that there were...
Jeez.
He's been in the biz. There were 15 people on the two tables, though. It was the culinary community showed up, all sorts of different chefs, and Daphne Jones, president of Glorious Malone's Fine Sausage. So it was stacked. But Ryan Braun, his strongest moment, He really gave a nice compliment. Chef Teston Michel had a Polish sausage étouffée, and he called it an explosion of flavors.
Ooh, explosion of flavors.
Yeah, so that
That's
was a high
quotable.
point. But I'll tell you, Ryan Braun did have an embarrassing moment. This should have stayed on the cutting room floor. One of the judges, like, rabble-rousing at the very end of the show, like, let's do the wave. Hey, Ryan, you started.
Oh,
and he, like, just
cringy?
does the arms. Yeah, so, yeah. Yeah, so that was the cringiest moment of last night's Top Chef, but it was really fun to see the ballpark. And for as much as we spotlighted other parts of the city, this is a really nice postcard for the Milwaukee Brewers and also showcasing the food that happens there because their executive chef at American Family Field, Lauren Rue, was there. I got to tell you, though, do you ever meet Lorraine? She's the chef for decades.
Oh, yeah.
Up at the press box.
Yep.
She can whip something up. I remember she made ham hocks once for Bob Euchre. And he went, ham hocks, but he could whip up some, Lorraine could whip up some gourmet, so I would have liked to have seen her. But I did get to meet the chef from Amalinda at the viewing party last night, Chef Gregory Leon, two-time James Beard Award nominee himself. But he was on camera. He did not vote for Chef Dan Jacobs' bratwurst dish.
I voted against Dan Jacobs, and if you watch the episode, the only time they quote me and they show me talking is when I'm telling him what I didn't like about his dish. And I love Dan. He's one of my best friends. I wouldn't be doing him any favors if I, wasn't honest about his dish.
That's the curse of editing. So I asked him then, so how is it between you and Dan now?
We've talked about it since. In fact, I just saw him yesterday, and it's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry again. He's like, no, man. He's like, you did what you had to do. He's like, my dish was not the best, so he's okay with it.
Good.
Our friendship is intact.
I guess uncomfortable spot for him to be in. So there is some home court advantage, some home field advantage for Chef Dan, but also maybe a disadvantage there.
It's almost, aren't you harder on the people that you know and love, kind of when it comes to that sort of thing. So next week, it really does look intense. They're going to Discovery World, and they're doing Restaurant Wars.
Appreciate the update. WTMJ's Sandy Max with today's Top Chef Takeaway.
Catch up on all the Top Chef Takeaway recaps on the What's on Tap podcast at WTMJ.com or wherever you enjoy getting your podcasts.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here with spring here and the warmer temps in the air. This is a great time to be doing all the fun outdoor stuff, right? Like the hiking, the biking, maybe going to the lake. But if your joints are flaring up, you may be having second thoughts maybe about hitting those 18 holes. Well, if you're tired of the achy joints, here's what you do. You call QC Kinetics. Do it before you agree to surgery or steroids or any other medication. It's what tens of thousands of patients are doing. Take Abby, for instance. Constant back pain. She had nonstop ice packs, steroids. It was exhausting for her, but thanks to QC Kinetics, Abby feels like a new person. No back pain thanks to QC Kinetics Regenerative